Okay, well, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, this week we have the immense pleasure of sitting down with Sam Martin on Sweet Stories, the strategic and analytical maven who has been at the forefront of streamlining business operations and financial performance for various organizations. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you.
Well, I wanted to cover a little bit of your background. Certified fraud examiner with a specialty in wine industry is pretty unique. From what I've gathered in our experience working with you, the embodiment of financial acumen and strategy is something we want to talk to you today about. With a proven career that spanned across different sectors, understanding you've been instrumental in developing proactive and actionable initiatives that not only enhance the bottom line, but also reduce the stress of clients. Really hoping that you can talk to us a little bit more about, how you've taken Dana Estates, not only from the optimized side with efficiencies, but how you have uncovered unique insights where you think digital transformation is going over the next couple of years, some of the lasting impacts you've had on business operations. I'm Louis Balla. I'm joined with Gina Ostrowski. We're here at Nuage, and thank you for joining us today. Again, Gina, why don't you kick us off, and we'll jump into our first question.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. Let's dive in. I appreciate you, Sam. I've been working with you a little bit here over the last year, but I'm glad we're honored to have you here. So thank you. And could you tell us maybe a little bit about your journey and how did you find your way into finance, particularly the wine industry?
Sure. So I found my way into finance through college. I got my degree in accounting, specializing with tax preparation work. And after about 6 years of tax work, I received a call from a headhunter over here in Napa Valley for a CPA firm looking for someone to help with audits and attest services. So that sounded like something different and unique from what I'd been doing outside of the tax preparation world. And over the course of about 10 years, I got involved in the wine industry, became an auditor, specialized in doing attest services and consulting work with different companies here in the Napa Valley. And I had the privilege of working with some of the best wineries here in the Valley and learning from them and figuring out what worked for them, what didn't work for them. And in 2015, I was approached by Dana Estates, specifically Mr. Jay Chan, where they were desiring to build out their accounting and finance department and really take their company to the next level. And he offered me a position with the company. So I was able to bring to Dana Estates 10 years worth of experience from different wineries that I found that had practices that worked and what didn't work, and be able to combine them all into one organization and really succeed at advancing Dana Estates accounting and finance and management to the next level. With it, we were using QuickBooks when I started with the company, and that lasted for about 7 years, but quickly realized that the company had outgrown the usefulness of QuickBooks and really needed to come up with something that was more all-inclusive. And NetSuite seemed to be the right fit for us, combining CRM, multiple entity consolidations, and allowing us for worldwide viewing of the data, since we are, owned by a company that has international presence.
So with kind of the wine industry and what we know and having worked with you in the past, kind of as we were starting to evaluate NetSuite, with your diverse experience shaping the transition from QuickBooks, what would you say is kind of been your approach in that transformation? Maybe some of the financial management and strategy that you still hold to this day that you think is really driving the organization?
Really, in the accounting world, I think, the biggest thing is it's a lagging indicator. And with QuickBooks, our company specifically is made up of 5 different entities. So we had 5 separate QuickBooks files that had to pull data from simultaneously to come up with analysis and be able to provide answers to questions in different meetings, where NetSuite is able to have all this data within one file, and it's easily been able to segregate it from an individual company standpoint all the way up to a consolidated standpoint, and allowing me to be able to provide information on the go as we're in meetings or as questions pop up or needing to get answers out of information with it. So I think that's one of the biggest benefits of moving to NetSuite with it, but being able to, have everything in one file. So all of our inventory in one file, all of our receivables in one file across all entities is really what's provided the greatest resources.
That's great.
Yeah, that's interesting. And that's what people love about NetSuite, the unified system. But as the COO and CFO of Dana Estates, you've successfully managed to improve business efficiencies and the financial performance. Could you dive in a little bit about your strategies and initiatives that you've implemented within your organization?
So the biggest one is bringing the company into a digital environment. So when we started with the company, everything was paper files stored in file cabinets. You need to go find historical data. You had to go to the file cabinet, pull data, and then try to recap it into Excel or something like that to get the data. Moving the company into a paperless environment where everything's stored electronically on the cloud, so you're able to access it anytime, anywhere, is one of the biggest, benefits to the organization. And it allows, for multiple people to have access to the same data at the same time. Instead of having to, call up someone and ask for this data, you're able to pull it when you needed it, which allows for quicker churn on projects or analysis that's needed with it. Another thing that, we did with implementations is, scheduled timing throughout the week for people to practice and get used to the new systems and learn how to do their job properly and efficiently. Instead of just, saying we're going to do XYZ, we scheduled time to practice it before we went live, so everybody knew how to do it. So as we moved from paper to paperless, it worked seamlessly, and there was no drawbacks on it. Get everybody to buy in on the transformations.
And kind of in the vein of transformation, Sam, it seems like the winery industry definitely, and we've seen this with other industries as well, is not at the forefront of tech. It seems like you all in your organization, Dana, certainly are. What would be maybe one or two pieces of advice that you would maybe recommend to other wineries, other folks who are maybe just dipping their toes into the cloud, and how they should be considering navigating their businesses in what we'll call kind of digital transformation?
I would say that those who are looking to go into the digital world need to spend the time to map it out, figure out what they're really trying to accomplish. With it, while the digital world is great, it's a big challenge at the same time because you do have data overload. So you need to make sure that the data you have is the data that you need, and you don't just have data for data's sake, because then you don't really do anything with it, and it's just a waste of your time looking at it and people's time to consume it. So really need to figure out what's important and where the company wants to head. For us, one of the biggest benefits for us for data is because we do have people across the world, giving them access to the data. So it speeds up the transitions. So every time we're trying to communicate with someone in Asia, you basically lost a day without having a digital data. Now that we have digital data, those day losses now turn into, hour losses, just from the timing standpoint of being able to communicate with different people. So I would say, mapping it out, figuring out what it can do, try to mimic what you have in paper in a digital world as for your file cabinets and data flows, and then start working, from that point forward.
And as it relates to, I think a great point on just data overload. What is most exciting for you in what you see in the next couple of years as it relates to not just NetSuite, but some of the things you're considering and looking at for your organization, all things software, all things tech?
I'm super excited about the advancements that are coming with AI. I think that is providing a huge benefit, especially in the accounting world, being able to use OCR and AI to be able to capture invoices and automatically code and post those into NetSuite with just needing someone to review them digitally and approve them. Then they get posted to NetSuite. And then, automatically being able to set up reminders for payments and activities like that. That really has taken the grunt work out of the accounting departments and allowing the accountants to free up their time to spend more time doing analysis and projections and data flow and cash management opportunities for your organization, where the real value comes in, versus just trying to key in and enter, invoice after invoice. That I see is a huge advantage with it. And then also on the accounts receivable side, same thing, as more and more technology becomes available to automate, your POS system into NetSuite if you're using the standalone system, kind of like what we do. That helps out a lot too. And it really just comes down to, everybody's struggling to find qualified labor or good labor, people who want to work. And then it also, just frees people up to be able to work in a remote environment, because you don't necessarily need to have people in the office on the accounting side to do this data anymore as technology becomes more prevalent.
That's really appreciate your take there, Sam. And in that line, could you maybe share a book or a resource or an individual mentor, someone that significantly influenced your life and your business in technology, actually?
A book or resource, I would say that really my influence in technology grew once I became a certified fraud examiner, and got introduced to the theory of Benford's Law, and really used those two resources to help me in my auditing world, to be able to find anomalies or outliers, and took that learning and was able to expand it into, Dana Estates, to be able to analyze data and be able to find the outliers and figure out why something's not matching what we expected, based on historical trends.
That's a good one. We'll try to put the link in the bio underneath here. For everybody who's joined us today, certainly appreciate you listening in. That concludes this episode of Sweet Stories. What an insightful, quick run through from Sam. Sam, thank you for joining us today. And as Sam has shared his valuable perspective on the rapidly evolving landscape of cloud technologies. For our listeners, if you're looking to navigate your own digital transformation journey, remember, you don't have to do it alone. At Nuage, we specialize in helping businesses like yours leverage the power of NetSuite to streamline operations, make data-driven decisions, and drive growth. And thank you all for tuning in. And we hope you'll join us next time for another episode of Sweet Stories, where we continue exploring the experiences and insights of business leaders in the world of cloud technology. If you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions for future guests, we'd love to hear from you. Please get in touch with us at Nuage. Remember, every business has a story. Let us help you tell yours. Sam, we got another couple of minutes. Anything you'd like to end with? Anything you'd like to tell the viewers out there?
Just want to say thanks for the opportunity, and I really appreciate working with Nuage over the past year and a half or so. They've made the transition into NetSuite seamless, and been very supportive as we learn the software and growing with the company.
Well, thank you, Sam. Thank you to our viewers. Hope everybody has a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.